The No Excuses Money Plan: How to Save, Invest, and Build Wealth on Any Budget. Written by Ronnie Rowland. Published by Growth Literacy Lounge. Do not save what is left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. Warren Buffett. Let's be honest, most people believe that building wealth is impossible unless they make a six-figure salary. They assume financial freedom is reserved for CEOs, tech entrepreneurs, or lottery winners. But here's the truth: wealth isn't about how much you earn, it's about how you manage what you have. If you've ever thought, I just don't make enough to save, or I'll start when I have more money, this book is here to tell you otherwise. The amount of money you make is not the problem. The real issue is the belief that you have to wait for the right time to take control of your finances. But waiting won't make you rich, starting will. We live in a world where spending is effortless. With a few taps on a screen, you can order food, buy clothes, or book a vacation. Companies spend billions to make sure you spend everything you earn, and then some. The result? Most people live paycheck to paycheck regardless of income. But it doesn't have to be that way. The good news? You don't need to be perfect with money to build wealth. You don't need a financial degree, a high-paying job, or the latest budgeting app. You just need a system, a no-excuses money plan that works in real life, no matter where you're starting. This book will show you exactly how to save, invest, and grow your wealth, even on a tight budget. It won't tell you to skip coffees or live like a monk. Instead, you'll learn how to cut the right expenses, automate savings, and make your money work for you, not against you. Most importantly, you'll walk away with a simple plan that removes the guesswork. No complicated spreadsheets, no financial jargon, just a clear, step-by-step strategy to build security and freedom. By the time you finish reading, you'll realize that wealth isn't about luck or waiting for a big break. It's about making small, intentional choices that add up over time. You don't need more money to get started. You just need to start. No more excuses. No more waiting. Your journey to financial freedom starts now. Chapter 1. The No Excuses Mindset. The biggest reason most people never build wealth isn't their income, it's their mindset. We've all heard the excuses. I don't make enough to save. Investing is for rich people. I'll start when I get a better job. The truth? Wealth has nothing to do with how much you earn and everything to do with how you think about money. Think about two people. One earns $30,000 a year, the other earns $100,000. The first one saves and invests consistently, even if it's just a small amount. The second spends everything, assuming they'll save later. Fast forward 10 years. The lower earner has built a solid foundation, while the high earner has nothing but debt and regret. The difference? Mindset? There's a famous story about Ronald Reed, a janitor who never made more than a modest wage but died with over $8 million. He wasn't a lottery winner or a trust fund baby. He simply lived below his means, saved consistently, and invested early. Meanwhile, lottery winners and celebrities making millions often go bankrupt. It's proof that wealth isn't about income, it's about decisions. Your financial future depends on the choices you make today. Every dollar you manage wisely is a step toward freedom. Every dollar you waste because you deserve it is a step in the wrong direction. Most people believe money problems come from not making enough. But if that were true, high earners wouldn't struggle. In reality, financial issues come from bad habits, lack of discipline, and excuses. Let's be honest, there will always be reasons not to start. Bills pile up, emergencies happen, life is expensive. But waiting for the perfect time is the same as never starting. The perfect time is now. Wealth starts with small, consistent actions. If you can save $5 today, you're building the habit that will make saving $500 or $5,000 possible later. It's not about the amount, it's about the commitment. The good news? You control this. You don't need to wait for a raise or a miracle. You just need to decide that from this moment forward, you're in charge of your financial future. This book isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about creating a no-excuses plan that works at any income level. It's about learning how to save when you think you can't, invest when you think you're not ready, and build wealth no matter where you're starting from. If you're thinking, but I really don't make enough, challenge yourself. Are there small changes you could make? Could you cut one expense that doesn't bring value? Could you find a way to earn a little extra? The wealthiest people weren't born rich. They made intentional choices. You can, too. This is your turning point. From here on, no more excuses, no more waiting, no more thinking you need to make six figures before you take control. You have everything you need to start right now. Small steps today create massive change over time. By the end of this book, you'll have a clear, actionable plan to build wealth on any budget. For now, here's your first action step. Look at your last 5 purchases. Were they necessities, or were they things you could have skipped? If you cut just one and save that money instead, how much would you have in a month? A year? This isn't about deprivation, it's about making intentional choices that move you forward. In the next chapter, we'll tackle the first step of your no excuses money plan, automating your savings. No more relying on willpower, no more forgetting to save. We're going to make sure your future self is always taken care of, starting today. Chapter 2. Automate your savings. Start small, stay consistent. Saving money isn't about willpower. It's about setting up a system that makes saving automatic, effortless, and consistent. Most people plan to save whatever is left at the end of the month. But let's be honest, there's never anything left. Bills, unexpected expenses, and impulse purchases always eat up what remains. That's why you must save first before you even see the money. The easiest way to do this is automation. Set up a small, automatic transfer from your checking account to a savings account every time you get paid. Even if it's just $5 or $10, it's the act of saving that matters. It creates the habit. Over time, you can increase the amount, but the key is to start now. If you wait until you have extra, you'll never begin. Think of it like a subscription service, but instead of paying for another streaming platform, you're paying your future self. You don't cancel Netflix because the money comes out automatically. Treat your savings the same way. When it's automatic, you don't have to think about it, and you won't be tempted to spend it. A common excuse is, I don't have enough to save. But the truth is, if you can afford a small luxury, you can afford to save. If you buy coffee, fast food, or a streaming service, you have money that could be redirected. This isn't about giving up everything fun, it's about prioritizing your future. Saving doesn't have to hurt, it just has to happen. The beauty of automation is that it removes decision-making. When money moves to savings before you even see it, you don't have to rely on discipline. And once you start, you won't miss the small amount you're saving. If you're skeptical, try it. Set up a $5 transfer and forget about it. In a month, you'll be surprised at how quickly it adds up. Imagine 2 people. One waits for a raise before saving. The other starts now, saving just $10 a week. In 5 years, the second person has thousands, plus the power of interest working for them. The first person? Still waiting for the right time to start. This is how financial security is built, not in one big leap, but through small, consistent actions. Many employers offer direct deposit options that let you split your paycheck into multiple accounts. If you set part of your paycheck to go directly into savings, you'll never be tempted to spend it. Out of sight, out of mind. And if your employer doesn't offer this, you can set up an automatic transfer through your bank. Most banks allow recurring transfers, making it easy to build your savings without effort. For those worried about needing the money, set up a separate savings account that's slightly harder to access. An online bank with no instant transfer option can help. That way, you won't dip into your savings for impulse purchases. Emergency money should be there for real emergencies, not for a sale at your favorite store. Automation also works for investing. Many apps allow you to invest small amounts automatically. Even $5 a week in a simple index fund can turn into thousands over time. The key is to remove the friction. If saving or investing takes effort, you'll put it off. If it happens automatically, you won't even notice it until you check your balance and realize you've built something significant. Your future self is counting on you. The small decisions you make today will determine your financial security tomorrow. You don't need to start big, you just need to start. Once saving becomes automatic, it becomes effortless. And once it becomes effortless, it becomes life-changing. Here's your action step. Set up an automatic transfer for any amount, even if it's just $5. If you already have one, increase it by a small amount. The goal is progress, not perfection. In the next chapter, we'll tackle how to cut the right expenses without feeling deprived. Chapter 3. Cut the right expenses without feeling deprived. Most people think saving money means giving up everything fun, living on a strict budget, and sacrificing their happiness. That's why so many give up before they even start. The secret to cutting expenses without feeling deprived is simple: focus on eliminating low-value spending, not the things that actually bring you joy. Think about your last 10 purchases. How many of them do you actually remember? How many brought you lasting satisfaction? Most of us spend money out of habit, not intention. We subscribe to services we don't use, order food because it's convenient, and buy things we don't need just because they're on sale. This is where money quietly disappears. The goal isn't to stop spending altogether, it's to be more intentional. You don't need to give up your daily coffee if it's something you truly enjoy. But if you're buying it just because it's part of your routine, reconsider. The same goes for dining out, subscriptions, and impulse purchases. Small leaks sink big ships. One of the easiest ways to find wasteful spending is to do a 30-day spending audit. Look at your last month's bank statements and highlight every purchase that wasn't necessary. Be honest with yourself. Did you really need 5 different streaming services? Was that late-night food delivery worth it? Once you see where your money is going, you can decide what truly adds value to your life and what doesn't. Another simple trick is the 24-hour rule for non-essential purchases. If you see something you want but don't need, wait a day before buying it. Most of the time, the impulse fades, and you realize you didn't really want it in the first place. If you still want it after 24 hours and it fits your budget, go for it. This one habit alone can save you hundreds every year. Recurring subscriptions are one of the biggest silent money drainers. Companies love them because they know most people forget to cancel. If you're paying for something you barely use, cancel it. You can always resubscribe later if you miss it. And if you have multiple streaming services, consider rotating them instead of paying for all of them at once. Dining out is another major expense for most people. That doesn't mean you have to stop completely, just be more strategic. Instead of grabbing takeout 4 times a week, cut it to 2, and put the savings toward your financial goals. Cooking at home just 1 extra night per week can save you hundreds per month. Impulse spending is another trap. Retailers know exactly how to get you to spend money on things you don't need. The best way to combat this is to use cash for discretionary spending. Set a weekly or monthly limit, withdraw that amount in cash, and once it's gone, it's gone. You'll be shocked at how much more mindful you become about your spending when you physically see the money leave your hands. It's also important to recognize when spending is emotional. Many people shop when they're stressed, bored, or trying to escape something else in their life. If you find yourself spending money just to feel better, try replacing that habit with something that doesn't cost anything, taking a walk, reading, or calling a friend. Your bank account will thank you. The goal here isn't restriction, it's redirection. Every dollar you cut from wasteful spending is a dollar that can go toward your financial goals. When you frame it that way, saving money doesn't feel like a punishment. It feels like progress. Here's your action step. Go through your last month's transactions and cancel or cut at least one unnecessary expense. Even if it's just a $5 subscription, it's a step in the right direction. In the next chapter, we'll take that savings and put it to work, by investing, even if you think you can't afford it. Chapter 4. Invest. Even if you think you can't afford it. Most people believe investing is only for the wealthy, but that's one of the biggest financial myths. The truth is, you don't need thousands of dollars to start. You don't even need hundreds. Thanks to technology, you can begin investing with as little as $5. The key isn't how much you start with, it's that you start. Waiting until you have extra money is a mistake. There will always be bills, unexpected expenses, and reasons to put it off. But every day you wait, you're losing something powerful. Time. Time is the most important factor in building wealth because of compound interest. The earlier you invest, the more your money grows, even if you start small. Think of compound interest like a snowball rolling down a hill. It starts tiny, but as it keeps moving, it grows bigger and bigger. A $5 investment today could turn into hundreds over time, not because you added more, but because your money is working for you. The longer it rolls, the bigger it gets. That's why starting now is more important than how much you invest. If you're not sure where to begin, start with a simple index fund. Index funds are like a basket of stocks, spreading your money across many companies instead of betting on just one. They're low cost, low maintenance, and historically outperform most individual stock pickers. Warren Buffett, one of the world's richest investors, recommends them over anything else. Many investing apps make it easy to start with small amounts. Some round up your purchases and invest the spare change automatically. Others let you invest as little as $1. The key is to remove barriers. If you set up automatic investments, just like you did with savings, you won't have to think about it. It just happens. If your employer offers a retirement plan with a match, that's the best place to start. A company match is free money. If you contribute, say 3% of your salary and your employer matches it, you've instantly doubled your investment. Not taking advantage of this is like refusing a raise. Even if you can't contribute much, put in enough to get the match. It's one of the fastest ways to grow your wealth. One of the biggest fears people have about investing is losing money. The stock market goes up and down, but historically it always trends upward over time. The key is to invest for the long haul and not panic over short-term drops. The worst mistake you can make is selling when prices are low. Investing isn't about timing the market, it's about time in the market. The longer you stay invested, the more you gain. If you're struggling to find money to invest, revisit the previous chapter. Cut one unnecessary expense and redirect that money into investments. A canceled $5 subscription could become an investment that grows into hundreds or even thousands. It's not about making drastic sacrifices, it's about shifting where your money goes. Think about where you want to be in 10 years. If you start now, even with small amounts, you'll have built a solid financial foundation. If you wait, you'll still be in the same place, wishing you had started sooner. The good news: you can start today. Here's your action step. Open an investment account if you don't have one. If you do, set up an automatic contribution, even if it's just $5 per week. The goal is progress, not perfection. In the next chapter, we'll focus on how to increase your income so you can invest even more and build wealth faster. Chapter 5. Increase your income the smart way. Cutting expenses is important, but there's only so much you can trim before you hit a limit. That's why increasing your income is one of the fastest ways to accelerate your wealth-building journey. The good news? You don't need a new degree, a high-paying job, or a massive following to earn more. You just need a plan. Most people think of making more money as something outside their control. They wait for a raise, hope for a promotion, or assume that only people with special skills can earn extra. But in reality, opportunities to make more money are everywhere. The key is to stop waiting and start taking action. The first place to look is your current job. Have you asked for a raise in the last year? If not, you're likely leaving money on the table. Employers won't hand out raises unless you ask. But don't just walk in and demand more money. Do your research. Find out what others in your field make. Document your accomplishments. Show how you've added value. A well-prepared request is far more likely to succeed than simply hoping for a raise. If a raise isn't an option, consider a side hustle. This doesn't mean working 80 hours a week or sacrificing all your free time. It means finding a way to earn extra money that fits into your schedule. Many side hustles can be done in just a few hours a week. Freelancing, tutoring, selling digital products, or even delivering food can add an extra stream of income without taking over your life. One of the best ways to make more money is by monetizing a skill you already have. Can you write, design, code, edit videos, or teach? Platforms like Fiverr and Upwork allow you to sell your skills with no upfront cost. If you speak another language, you can teach online. If you enjoy photography, you can sell stock photos. The skills you take for granted could be valuable to someone else. Even if you don't think you have a sellable skill, you can still earn extra money. Many companies pay for simple tasks like answering surveys, testing websites, or doing small data entry jobs. While these won't make you rich, they can create an extra stream of cash that can go straight into savings or investments. Another powerful option is flipping. This means buying items at a low price and reselling them for profit. People do this with thrift store finds, clearance items, or even things they get for free. With apps like eBay, Facebook Marketplace, and Poshmark, you can turn unwanted items into cash quickly. For those with more time, learning a high-income skill can change everything. Skills like copywriting, digital marketing, programming, and video editing are in high demand and don't require a degree. There are free and low-cost courses online that can teach you in weeks what college teaches in years. The sooner you start learning, the sooner you can start earning. The biggest barrier to making more money is mindset. Too many people assume they're stuck at their current income level, but your earning potential isn't fixed. The internet has made it possible to generate income in ways that didn't exist 20 years ago. The only question is whether you'll take advantage of it. An extra $100 a month may not seem like much, but if you invest it, it could turn into six figures over time. Small increases in income, when used wisely, create massive financial change. Here's your action step. Choose one way to earn extra money this month. Whether it's asking for a raise, picking up a side hustle, or selling something, commit to taking action. In the next chapter, we'll dive into the psychology of money, why we overspend, and how to stop. Chapter 6. The psychology of money, why we overspend, and how to stop. Money isn't just numbers, it's emotions, habits, and psychology. Most people don't overspend because they lack knowledge. They overspend because of impulse, stress, or the belief that money is meant to be spent. The key to financial success isn't just knowing what to do, it's understanding why you do what you do with money. Think about the last time you made an unnecessary purchase. Were you bored? Stressed? Celebrating? Retail therapy is real, and companies know it. They design ads, store layouts, and sales tactics to trigger emotional spending. It's not an accident that clearance bins are near checkout lines or that limited time offers create urgency. The more emotional a purchase, the less logical we are about it. Social pressure also plays a huge role in spending. We see friends, family, and influencers showing off new cars, vacations, and expensive dinners, and we feel like we should keep up. Even if we know they might be in debt, the fear of missing out makes us justify spending money we don't have. But wealth isn't built by impressing others, it's built by making smart decisions, even when no one is watching. One of the biggest traps is lifestyle inflation. When you start making more money, it's tempting to spend more. A small raise turns into a new car. A bonus turns into a vacation. Instead of using extra income to build wealth, many people increase their expenses. That's why some high earners still struggle financially. They spend everything they make. True financial freedom comes from controlling your spending, not increasing your income. To stop emotional spending, you have to recognize the triggers. The next time you feel the urge to buy something, pause. Ask yourself why. Are you actually excited about the purchase, or are you just trying to feel better in the moment? If it's not something you plan to buy, wait 24 hours. Most of the time, the desire will fade, and you'll realize you didn't really need it. A simple way to rewire your brain for smarter spending is to change the way you view money. Instead of thinking of a $50 purchase as just spending $50, think of it as what that money could do for your future. If invested, that $50 could grow into $500 over time. Every dollar you spend today is a dollar that won't be working for you tomorrow. Another powerful trick is using cash for discretionary spending. Studies show that people spend less when they use cash instead of credit. Physically handing over money feels more real than swiping a card. If you struggle with overspending, set a cash budget for non-essential purchases. Once it's gone, it's gone. It's also important to create barriers between yourself and impulse spending. If online shopping is your weakness, delete saved payment information from your favorite stores. The extra step of entering your card details gives you time to rethink the purchase. If you tend to overspend in stores, set a strict list before you go and stick to it. Small adjustments like these can save you thousands over time. The ultimate goal isn't to never spend money, it's to spend intentionally. If something truly adds value to your life, it's not a waste. But if you're spending out of habit, emotion, or pressure, it's time to take control. Here's your action step. Track every non-essential purchase you make this week and write down why you bought it. At the end of the week, look for patterns. Were there emotional triggers? Social pressures? Once you identify the why, you can start changing the habit. In the next chapter, we'll tackle how to break free from debt, even on a low income. Chapter 7. Breaking free from debt, even on a low income. Debt is one of the biggest obstacles to financial freedom. It keeps you trapped in a cycle where your money belongs to lenders instead of working for you. The good news, no matter how much you owe or how little you make, you can become debt-free. The key is having a clear strategy and the discipline to follow it. Most people get into debt because they think of monthly payments instead of total cost. A car loan at $400 per month might seem manageable, but over 5 years that's $24,000, often more than the car is worth. Credit cards make it even worse. A $1,000 purchase can turn into $2,000 or more with interest if you only make minimum payments. The longer you stay in debt, the more you lose. The first step to getting out of debt is facing the numbers. Many people avoid looking at their total balance because it feels overwhelming. But ignoring it won't make it go away. Write down every debt you owe, the interest rate, and the minimum payment. Seeing it all in one place gives you clarity and a plan to move forward. There are 2 main methods to pay off debt: the snowball method and the avalanche method. The snowball method focuses on paying off the smallest debt first while making minimum payments on the rest. Once the smallest debt is gone, you take that payment and apply it to the next debt, creating momentum. The avalanche method focuses on paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first, saving you more money in the long run. Both work. The best method is the one you'll stick with. If you're struggling to find extra money to pay off debt, go back to previous chapters. Automate savings so you don't rely on willpower. Cut low-value expenses so more of your income is available. Increase your earnings with a side hustle or negotiating a raise. Even an extra $50 per month toward debt can make a big difference over time. One of the biggest mistakes people make is trying to pay off debt while still using credit cards. If you keep adding to the balance, you're just spinning in circles. Stop using credit for non-essential purchases. If possible, switch to cash or a debit card while you focus on paying down what you already owe. Another strategy is negotiating with lenders. Many people don't realize that credit card companies and banks are often willing to lower interest rates or offer better repayment options if you ask. A 5-minute phone call could save you hundreds or even thousands in interest over time. The worst they can say is no. If you have high interest debt, consider consolidating. This means combining multiple debts into one with a lower interest rate. Be careful though, some debt consolidation companies charge hidden fees. The goal is to pay off debt faster, not just move it around. Mindset is everything when it comes to becoming debt-free. Instead of feeling guilty about past mistakes, focus on the progress you're making. Every payment you make is a step toward financial freedom. The moment you decide you're done with debt is the moment you take control of your money. Imagine your life without monthly payments. No credit card bills, no car loan, no stress every time you check your bank account. That freedom is worth the effort. The sooner you start, the sooner you'll get there. Here's your action step. Write down your total debt and choose a repayment strategy, snowball or avalanche. Then, find one way to free up extra money this month to put toward your debt. In the next chapter, we'll cover how to build an emergency fund, even when money is tight. Chapter 8. How to build an emergency fund, even when you're broke. An emergency fund is the foundation of financial security. It protects you from unexpected expenses, prevents you from relying on credit cards, and gives you peace of mind. Yet most people don't have one. The common excuse? I don't have enough money to save. But the truth is, even if you're broke, you can start building an emergency fund today. Most financial experts recommend saving 3 to 6 months' worth of expenses. That number can feel overwhelming, but don't let it discourage you. Your first goal isn't thousands of dollars, it's your first $500. Studies show that even a small emergency fund can prevent most financial crises. A $500 cushion can cover car repairs, medical bills, or a broken appliance, keeping you from falling into debt. The fastest way to start is by making emergency savings automatic. Set up a small weekly or bi-weekly transfer to a separate savings account. Even $5 a week adds up over time. The key is consistency. If you wait until you have extra money, you'll never save. But when saving happens automatically, it becomes effortless. If money is extremely tight, start by looking for quick wins. Sell something you don't use. Unused clothes, electronics, and furniture can bring in cash fast. Even selling 1 or 2 items can give your emergency fund an instant boost. Every dollar counts. Another way to build your fund is by redirecting small windfalls. Tax refunds, bonuses, birthday money, any unexpected income should go straight into savings. Most people spend these windfalls on things they don't need. But if you put them in your emergency fund, you're buying financial security instead of temporary pleasure. Cutting unnecessary expenses is another quick way to free up cash. Review your bank statements and cancel anything you don't use or truly need. A $5 subscription here and a $10 impulse purchase there may not seem like much, but together, they add up. Every dollar you cut can go toward your emergency fund. One of the best mental shifts is treating saving as a bill. If you think of saving as optional, it's easy to skip. But if you treat it like rent or a car payment, you'll make it a priority. Pay yourself first, even if it's just a small amount. Side income can also accelerate your savings. You don't need a full-time side hustle, just something small that brings in extra cash. Delivering food, doing freelance work, selling handmade items, or even filling out online surveys can add to your fund. The goal isn't to make a fortune. It's to create a safety net. It's also important to keep your emergency fund separate from your regular checking account. If the money is too accessible, you'll be tempted to spend it. A high-yield savings account or an online bank with no instant transfer option can help. Out of sight, out of mind. If you're thinking, I don't have enough to save, challenge that belief. Even if you start with just a few dollars, you're building a habit that will change your financial future. It's not about how much you save, it's about proving to yourself that you can save. Imagine the relief of knowing that when the next unexpected expense comes, you're ready for it. No stress, no panic, no debt. That's what an emergency fund gives you, freedom from financial fear. Here's your action step. Open a separate savings account if you don't already have one. Set up an automatic transfer for any amount, even if it's just $5. In the next chapter, we'll talk about retirement, why it's not optional, and how to get started now. Chapter 9. Retirement isn't optional. How to get started now. Most people put off saving for retirement because it feels so far away. When you're struggling with bills, debt, and everyday expenses, it's easy to think, I'll worry about that later. But later comes faster than you think, and if you don't start now, you'll wake up one day with no savings and no time to fix it. The truth is, retirement isn't optional. You will either retire with money or without it. The choice is made by what you do today. One of the biggest myths is that you need a lot of money to start saving for retirement. That's not true. Thanks to compound interest, even small contributions can turn into a significant nest egg over time. The earlier you start, the less you have to save because your money has more time to grow. If you invest just $100 a month starting at age 25, you could have over $300,000 by retirement. Wait until 40, and you'll need to save twice as much to reach the same goal. The best place to start is with a 401k if your employer offers one. Many companies offer matching contributions, which is free money. If your employer matches up to 5%, contribute at least that much, otherwise you're leaving money on the table. If a 401k isn't an option, open an IRA. Traditional IRAs reduce your taxable income now, while Roth IRAs let your money grow tax-free. Either way, the key is to start. If you think you can't afford to save for retirement, look at where your money is going. Could you redirect even $25 a month? That small amount invested consistently will grow into thousands over time. It's not about waiting until you can contribute the maximum, it's about starting with whatever you can. Another common fear is losing money in the stock market. Yes, the market goes up and down, but over the long term, it has always trended upward. The key is to invest in broad, low-cost index funds that track the entire market. These funds spread risk across hundreds of companies, making them safer than trying to pick individual stocks. One mistake many people make is cashing out retirement savings early. When you withdraw money before retirement, you pay penalties and taxes, and worst of all, you lose years of growth. Unless it's a true emergency, leave your retirement money alone. Think of it as untouchable until future you needs it. It's also important to increase contributions over time. If you get a raise, increase your retirement savings before adjusting your lifestyle. This way you'll build wealth without even feeling the difference. A simple rule is to raise your contributions by 1% every year. Small increases won't impact your budget much now, but they'll have a huge effect on your retirement savings later. Many people assume Social Security will take care of them, but it won't be enough. The average monthly Social Security check is around $1,500, not nearly enough to live comfortably. If you don't save for yourself, you'll be forced to rely on whatever the government provides. That's a risk you don't want to take. Imagine your future self. Do you want to be stressed about money, struggling to get by, and working long after you want to stop? Or do you want freedom, the ability to travel, enjoy life, and spend time with family without financial worries? Retirement savings isn't just about quitting work. It's about having choices. Here's your action step. If you have access to a 401k, contribute enough to get the full employer match. If you don't, open an IRA and set up automatic contributions, even if it's just $25 a month. In the next chapter, we'll cover how to get on the same financial page with your partner and avoid money conflicts. Chapter 10. Money and Relationships, How to Get on the Same Page. Money is one of the biggest sources of stress in relationships. Couples fight over spending, saving, and financial priorities more than almost anything else. The reason? Most people never learn how to talk about money in a healthy way. If you and your partner aren't aligned financially, it can lead to resentment, arguments, and even breakups. But when you work as a team, money becomes a tool to build a stronger future together. The first step is having an honest conversation about money. Many couples avoid this because they're afraid of conflict, but ignoring money problems only makes them worse. If you've never had a real conversation about finances, set aside time to talk. Make it a judgment-free zone where both of you can share openly. The goal isn't to criticize each other's past mistakes but to create a plan for the future. Start by understanding each other's money mindset. Everyone grows up with different financial habits and beliefs. Some people were raised to save every dollar, while others were taught that money is meant to be spent. If one of you is a saver and the other is a spender, tension is inevitable unless you find common ground. Instead of trying to change each other, focus on creating a system that works for both of you. One of the best ways to avoid fights is to set shared financial goals. Do you want to buy a home, travel more, or retire early? When you're working toward the same vision, money decisions become easier. Instead of arguing over small expenses, you'll both be motivated to stick to the plan. Write down your top financial priorities and decide how you'll achieve them together. Many couples struggle because they don't have a system for managing money. Some combine all their finances, while others keep everything separate. There's no one-size-fits-all approach, but there needs to be clarity. If one person is paying all the bills and the other has no idea what's going on, it creates an imbalance. Even if you keep separate accounts, there should be transparency about how money is handled. A great way to prevent money fights is to have a set spending plan. This isn't about tracking every penny but agreeing on how much can be spent on non-essentials. Some couples use the yours, mine, and ours system, where shared expenses come from a joint account, but each person has individual money to spend as they please. This allows financial teamwork while maintaining independence. It's also important to set rules for big purchases. If one person is making large financial decisions without discussing them, it can create trust issues. Agree on a spending limit. Maybe anything over $200 requires a conversation. This isn't about asking for permission, it's about respecting each other's role in financial decisions. Debt can be a major stress point in relationships, especially if one person has more than the other. The key is to approach it as a team. Instead of blaming or feeling ashamed, focus on a plan to pay it off together. If one person is bringing debt into the relationship, discuss how it will be handled. The worst thing you can do is ignore it and hope it goes away. If money conversations always turn into arguments, consider setting a monthly money check-in. Pick a time to review your finances together without distractions. This keeps both of you involved and prevents financial surprises. Money should never be a competition in a relationship. It's not about who earns more or who spends less, it's about building a life together. The strongest couples aren't the ones who never disagree about money. They're the ones who communicate, compromise, and commit to financial success as a team. Here's your action step. Schedule a 30-minute conversation with your partner about financial goals. Make it a positive discussion about what you want to achieve together. In the next chapter, we'll talk about staying motivated on your financial journey and avoiding burnout. Chapter 11. Staying motivated, avoiding burnout and setbacks. Building wealth is a marathon, not a sprint. At first, making financial progress feels exciting. You set goals, cut unnecessary expenses, and start seeing results. But after a while, motivation fades. Life happens, unexpected expenses pop up, and you might feel like you're not moving fast enough. That's when many people give up. The secret to long-term success isn't just knowing what to do, it's staying motivated even when progress feels slow. One of the biggest reasons people lose motivation is focusing only on the big goal. If you tell yourself you need to save $50,000 before you feel successful, you'll get discouraged quickly. Instead, break it down into smaller, winnable milestones. If your goal is to save $10,000, focus on reaching the first $500. Celebrate small wins along the way, because they keep you going. Another key to staying motivated is tracking your progress. When you don't see where your money is going, it's easy to feel stuck. But when you can look back and see that you've paid off debt, increased savings, or invested more than you thought, you realize you're moving forward. A simple spreadsheet or budgeting app can help you visualize progress and stay motivated. Avoiding burnout also means allowing yourself to enjoy life. Many people quit their financial goals because they try to cut out all fun spending. But just like extreme dieting leads to binge eating, extreme budgeting leads to financial burnout. Instead of eliminating everything enjoyable, build guilt-free spending into your plan. Set aside a small amount of money each month for things you love. When you budget for fun, you won't feel deprived. Comparing your progress to others is one of the fastest ways to lose motivation. Social media makes it seem like everyone is buying houses, taking luxury vacations, and living their best life. What you don't see is the debt, stress, or financial struggles behind the scenes. Focus on your own journey, not someone else's highlight reel. Wealth isn't built by keeping up with others, it's built by making smart choices over time. Another reason people lose motivation is hitting unexpected setbacks. Maybe your car breaks down, an emergency wipes out your savings, or a job loss sets you back. These moments feel frustrating, but setbacks are part of the process. The key is not letting them stop you. Instead of feeling defeated, adjust and keep going. If you fall off track for a month, pick back up the next month. Progress isn't about being perfect, it's about being persistent. Surrounding yourself with positive influences can also keep you going. If your friends or family don't support your financial goals, find a community that does. Follow personal finance podcasts, read success stories, or join online groups of people who are also working toward financial independence. Seeing others succeed will remind you that it's possible for you too. A great way to stay motivated is to connect your financial goals to a bigger purpose. Why do you want to be financially secure? Maybe you want to travel, retire early, provide for your family, or start your own business. When you have a strong why, sticking to the plan becomes easier. Money isn't the goal, freedom is. Imagine your future self 5 or 10 years from now. Will they thank you for the decisions you're making today, or will they wish you had started sooner? Every step you take now, no matter how small, is shaping that future. Keep going. Here's your action step. Write down 3 financial wins you've achieved so far, no matter how small. Recognizing your progress will help you stay motivated. In the next chapter, we'll put everything together and create a simple, actionable plan for long-term success. Chapter 12. The No Excuses Money Plan, putting it all together. You now have everything you need to take control of your finances, no matter your income. You've learned how to automate savings, cut unnecessary expenses, invest early, increase your income, break free from debt, and stay motivated. But knowledge alone won't change your life. Action will. The key to financial success is not waiting for the perfect moment. It's starting where you are, with what you have, right now. The biggest mistake people make is overcomplicating personal finance. They think they need to be experts, understand the stock market, or wait until they're earning more money. But the truth is, wealth is built on simple habits repeated over time. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. The first step is committing to automation. If you haven't set up automatic savings or investments yet, do it today. Even if it's just $5 a week, make it happen. Automating your finances ensures that saving and investing happen without effort. No more relying on willpower. Just set it and forget it. Next, take control of your spending. You don't need a strict budget, but you do need awareness. Track your last month of expenses and find at least one low-value expense to cut. Redirect that money toward your savings or investments. Small changes add up, and the sooner you start, the more impact they'll have. If you're in debt, pick your strategy, snowball or avalanche, and start attacking it. Debt keeps you stuck in the past. The sooner you eliminate it, the sooner your money can work for your future. Even an extra $20 a month toward debt can speed up your progress. The goal is to keep moving forward. If you haven't started investing, don't wait any longer. Open an investment account, set up a recurring contribution, and let compound interest do the work. Time in the market is more important than timing the market. The sooner you start, the less you'll have to invest overall. Don't let fear or confusion hold you back. Just start. Your income is one of your greatest wealth-building tools. If you haven't looked for ways to increase it, now is the time. Ask for a raise, start a side hustle, or find a way to monetize a skill. Even an extra $100 a month invested consistently can grow into six figures over time. Small income increases, when used wisely, can create financial freedom. If you don't have an emergency fund yet, make it your priority. Start with a goal of $500, then work toward 3 to 6 months of expenses. An emergency fund isn't just money, it's peace of mind. It keeps you from falling back into debt when unexpected expenses arise. Retirement may seem far away, but it's not. The earlier you start, the easier it will be. If you have access to a 401k with an employer match, contribute at least enough to get the full match. If you don't, open an IRA and set up automatic contributions. Your future self will thank you. If you're in a relationship, make sure you and your partner are on the same page. Money should be a tool to build a life together, not a source of conflict. Schedule regular money conversations, set shared goals, and create a plan that works for both of you. The most important thing is to take action. Reading this book won't change your life. Implementing what you've learned will. Financial freedom isn't about luck or earning six figures. It's about making smart decisions, one step at a time. Here's your final action step. Choose one thing from this book and take action today. Whether it's automating savings, cutting an expense, or opening an investment account, commit to doing something right now. No more waiting. No more excuses. Your financial future starts today. Take care and be well.